Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Windows Update episode of the podcast where all of our sound settings have been lost in between episodes. So, at random times, if you just see us super mad, fidgeting with stuff, and frantically clicking, that's what's going on because our computers have just forgot everything it had to do with voice and sound.
Services. So it's looking real intense right now at something.
Yeah, because it also changed the sound of what you all come through on OBS.
Oh
No.
wow!
Oh, that sucks.
So I got that
Have
fixed now.
mercy.
It's better? Okay, good.
Have mercy
Jeez,
on us.
that's
Bill Gates.
horrible.
All right. I pretty much is on par with how we're feeling probably about the game right now. Just like, what are we doing?
6 out of 10. Close.
Frustrated?
That was a mailbag question that got left out. How would you rate your Destiny experience right now on a scale of 1 to 10?
Do this here.
Oh, man. Well, I've been doing quite a bit of fishing. So,
Yeah.
don't know why the other exotic fish are time gated or what the heck's going on with those.
Controversial take. Fishing is really not fun on here at all.
I do enjoy
like,
watching stuff
wh-
and fishing.
Maybe that's the thing. I just need to get on and just watch.
Yeah, just fill
not
in
pay
time,
attention
just
to-
watch like a show
Yeah.
or whatever. That's what I do. I'm like reading, and if I, out of the corner of my eye, I see like the screen do a thing, I catch. And you figure it out where you can still get the perfect catches while you're doing something else. No problem.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
kind
try
of.
to do a little camera adjustment here. I'm a little crooked.
I know sometimes I just try to like wait to see my screen shake and then I press the button because I'm just like, nah, I've been watching that screen. And I found out that there's a few of those like assholes out there that throw a pulse nade down or a caster super or somebody runs in with their sparrow and hits you or something like that. Will draw your screen. I kind of wish they would have had the fish actually give certain weapons instead of just like you could have a chance of getting any legendary from like this season or something. Or different kinds of bait. Like some bait that increases your chance at legendary exotics, but you catch less fish. Then you have bait that you catch more fish rapidly or something.
Yeah, or like you can craft your ash shards into like exotic bait that increases like a 1 in 5 chance at an exotic or something. I'll be ready in just a second. Tiffany's coming to make me not boring.
Chad, how's Tears of
Alright.
the Kingdom?
Long enough to.
Oh man, it's still good. I'm still enjoying it very much when I'm on it here and there. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's still crazy to me how how they led into like, oh my god, you're going in the sky, you're doing sky stuff, like look, we're up in the air and you get to go and glide down and stuff. And people start playing the game, and all of a sudden, someone goes in a hole, and there's a whole second map, and people are like, "What the what?" Like we thought, oh, hopefully the sky's pretty big, like it's probably islands or whatever, and the sky map's pretty big, and there's islands here and there, but they basically doubled the map size, just over doubled the map size of Breath of the Wild, with stuff that they never showed in any trailers or anything, and it's rad. But it was, dude, it's rad. It's so cool, and they brought back some enemies that were from other games that we hadn't seen, and they're just as creepy and scary and nonsense, and it's fun. It's been a lot of fun.
So what was it since Breath of the Wild? What was it, 6 or 7 years?
Sheesh, I think so. Yeah, sounds about right.
That's what it takes, like, to make good follow-up games, isn't it?
Yeah,
like it
because they did do a DLC for Breath of the Wild, the Champion's Ballad, and with that came the Master Mode, where they added like another, not a whole nother storyline, but they added backstory for the other 4 champions.
Okay.
And then they gave you the motorcycle, which is dope. Don't need it in this game, obviously, because you can do all kinds of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. So most people are expecting a DLC, same thing, which is they'll give us a DLC, which will also release Master Mode at the same time. And we'll see what happens there. Maybe they'll add more islands in the sky, or maybe they'll add stuff to the ground. I don't know. All I know is once Master Mode comes out, starting the game over, and I'm going to 100% that. Master Mode's the one I'm going to really spend time on. The current save that I have now has been my I'm going to use all the glitches I can and just mess around and have fun. That's the save right now. So I have like a bunch of rupees. I have just all kinds of flying machines. It's been a ton of fun.
How many game saves can you have?
I think it's one of each per like account.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have like my regular one, which is going to be my fun one, and then the Master Mode one, which is I'm gonna take it more serious because all the glitches are going to be worked out by then.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you
Sure.
can't glitch it.
Sure
I'm not going to try to, but it'll be fun. It'll be rough.
Did you get a physical copy of the game, or did you just do digital?
No, just a digital. Yeah.
I don't know if he's one of those people that kind of get a physical copy, keep it sealed, and then do the digital copy.
I have a friend at work who did that. He got he got a regular copy to play on, and then he got basically the legendary edition of it, which came in a big box with like collector's artwork and booklets and stuff like that, and sealed. He put it in a box and he shipped it out to go get it graded. And he's like, I'm going to get that graded, and then I'm going to keep it at my house, and it's just going to stay there.
Yeah.
And if I can sell it later for a lot of money, cool. If I can't, cool. I'll have it right there. I'm like, all right, man.
I mean,
it's pretty rad.
So I don't know what legendary edition was. Maybe like 125, 150.
Let's see here. Collector's edition. 140.
Okay.
140? Oh, that's on eBay. Let me see if there's. Let me see the MSRP on this thing. I don't know if I'll be able to find that.
So do they keep selling those, or do they sell them for a limited time?
Limited time. The Nintendo stuff's limited time.
Okay.
Like on Amazon, there's no new ones.
Oh.
It's like from resellers now already. You just can't get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like 140. I'm seeing it range from 140 to 200. Oh, here's one for Walmart, 230. Get out of here.
So how long do you think you have to set on one of those for it to surpass $1,000 for secondary?
No idea. Honestly, no idea.
Well, I don't know. How much is a Breath of the Wild Legendary Edition, like new in box, mint in box, or whatever?
Let's see here.
I think back, and I'm like,
had to take my board off here.
Right now, brand new, 450.
Okay,
For
so
what?
Breath of the Wild.
2017.
So it tripled in value over 7 years.
Special edition.
Got the Destiny 1 Collector's Edition. One
Did
that
you-
came with a ghost.
Did you keep it in box? Sealed?
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also have the Halo Reach Legendary Edition, the Halo 3 Legendary Edition.
So what were you talking? I don't know. Was you listening to us?
I could hear you, but
Yeah.
Tiffany was trying to help me get
Mm,
fucking beautiful. So
yeah. Well, I mean, after 7 years, and that thing more than tripled its value. That's a pretty good investment for that
That's
amount
pretty
of time.
solid.
are you looking at the sell price or the sold listings?
I don't know.
Current listings.
I can put $700 on my toenails on eBay.
Yeah, true. We about ready to get rolling?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I heard Chad say his boy bought one. Like one to grade, one to play.
Yeah. Regular version to play, legendary version sent off, graded, put in box.
Yeah. It's too easy to buy digital games these days, man.
It
I
is.
don't have to go anywhere.
I feel like the only
I can
reason to
game
buy
I
it,
can game share them.
yeah, to buy a physical copy is literally to do that, and because they love to take
It
games.
seems like a lot of our Switch games are copies because we have two Switches.
Mm,
So kind of dependent upon. We have like the one you can dock and the Switch Lite
yeah.
or whatever.
Yep.
And the Switch has just like those SD cards are still kind of expensive. Like it's hard to keep more than a couple games. Because my kids are serial game switchers.
Oh, okay.
They'll play like Mario Odyssey for 7 minutes, Mario Party for 20 minutes, Smash for 25. You know what I mean? They're switching
Yeah.
back and forth.
Almost sounds like cloud gaming is perfect for kids.
Yeah.
I am drinking a land grant beer tonight called Lifty.
I
Southern
like some of those land grant beers.
Southern Hemisphere Cold IPA. And I guess it's kind of based off people going skiing. So,
Dogs earlier. Okay. West 6, Hop
Mm.
Static.
yeah. Chad's having a lot of fun drinking agua.
All Turkey
You like
101
you,
here.
you like mine? It's really good.
Yeah. It's a good way to
I'm
hide
gonna take a
vodka.
swig of it.
Bottles of water. Hydrated, baby.
Stay hydrated, my friends.
Did you get the music set back up this time?
So, you know before how Zencaster had that little like soundboard you could add stuff on?
Mm-hmm.
Soundcaster is RIP.
Oh, no.
No longer. So what I will what, what I'll have to do is take time to figure out how to add music. I mean, obviously I know how to do it in post-production as I
Yeah.
have been doing. I don't know how to do it simply. All right, everybody has squiggles and stuff.
Yeah.
Squiggle,
Remember,
squiggle,
I'll
squiggle,
have to
squiggle,
do the
squiggle.
start and stop thing again. You guys said you had to click or something on there, right? To join room again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Off in, and then I'll get started. All right, click on the button. Eyes up, Guardians. We are live for episode 116 of the Conqueror's Corner podcast. Today is June the 8th, and I, the Destiny bad boy, NotRyanFox, have returned with my fire team, who all of you CCBs know by now. Jared.
Yeah, we're talking about the last TWAB, a little bit of Destiny, of course our likes and dislikes this week, and a little weapons breakdown of Last Wish.
And the chronicler himself, Chadocero.
And this week we're going to be going into the dungeon armor. So it's a nice little story there. We'll get into that a little bit later.
And remember, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget that you can take us on the road via Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast services. Make sure you subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, click the bell, turn on notifications, yada, yada, yada. Follow us on Twitter at DestinyCCPod. Send us Bungie friend requests so we can play games together. Join the Discord server. I hope everybody has something with them that they can pour out, because Bruno brought us the final TWAB in the history of TWABs this week. So pour one out there. Maybe during the intro music. That is from everybody's favorite Link, who you can find on Twitter at LinkOfTimeG. All right, Jared, you want to get into the This Week at Bungie with us here?
All right. So this is the last this week at Bungie, the last TWAB. There's a quick recap of everything they kind of been talking about, and again, mentioning the game marathon and that free emblem that you can go get. The TWAB is dead. This is it. It's been a good run. They talked about in February 2016 how they switched over from the Bungie weekly update to the TWAB, and now they have announced another game called Marathon that is going to be really confusing if they keep it this week at Bungie and only talk about Destiny. So it's going to be transitioning over to this week in Destiny, the TWID. What as like cool as abbreviations sound when you spell them out and stuff. TWAB was like pretty good, and the TWID is kind of, I won't have to say it's weak.
Same.
Soft.
Soft's a good word for it.
Yeah. Did y'all come up with any other ideas you'd rather have them do? As an abbreviation for the week in Destiny?
I thought of This Week at the Tower. Would be
Okay. So, Twati. I like that. Definitely more of a harder, it has a little more meaning to it,
I'm just saying, if you say twat, it sounds hard. That's all. It sounds way better than TWID.
All right, so we'll be looking out for the TWID next week. I sure hope the TWID comes as a banger. But they drop some cool stuff as they kick off the TWID.
How are they going to let the TWAB go out with this weak TWAB? Like, how is there not like like a celebration of the TWAB. Let's bring out the 5 best things that ever happened in the you know what I mean? Should have been like
if I was him,
top 5 or something.
I would have held this off until Bungie Day. And like whenever Bungie Day happened, that was like the last TWAB because leading into Bungie Day or something like that.
Or maybe the like the reveal of the final shape, like how they do that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, because they already said like, hey, after this or Vidoc, we're putting our heads down and working on Marathon, and we won't be talking about it for a while. So I don't know. At least they're listening to us, I guess.
Yeah. We gotta keep everybody interested and ready to get those pre-orders in, you know, whenever that comes. All right. Next up, Grandmasters are. Well, before I get to Grandmasters, I almost skipped that word, and you all know why. Destiny has returned. Kicking off Season of Deep. There's some of the scariest floors on the sea, and they're also beautiful. And we know that Guardians are good at killing gods, but better at catching exotic fish, and even more dangerous when it comes to breakdown recalling some simpler times, and that is the community fashion contest. So put your pieces of armor together, don your drippiest designs, and try out some most combinations, and of course let us know on Twitter, or I guess Instagram, with the hashtag drown in the drip. Drown in the drip. Okay.
I appreciate you to read those words.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, long-time listeners know how I feel about sidearms and Destiny, so they're right up there, probably 1 and 2 of most hated things in Destiny. Whenever people say I gotta get something so I can transmog it, the most cringiest thing I think is those lines. And here it is, coming back around, so somebody can go and get this emblem, and this emblem, soft.
Do you think in like 19 years, whenever somebody ends up on this TWAB, reads it, they wonder what the phrase "don your drippiest designs" mean? Like, are they even gonna know like what that means?
Yeah, they're gonna have to go down to like the local McDonald's and listen to all the old guys drink coffee.
Right. Me drinking coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. There. No grimace.
All right. Something actually a little bit exciting. Grandmasters are returning next week. Not fully returning, but there's going to be a weekly Grandmaster to go play. So next week, the Wendigo is going to be out there to go chase. And week 7, whenever that rolls around in a few weeks, the catch-up node will be up then. But until then, you just have a weekly one to go play. Good way to go get some Cinder Shards and exotic armor. And then there's enhancement prisms. Pretty good material farm. Hopefully soon it's going to be like a double Nightfalls rewards week. I was like, that's one of probably the best weeks to play Destiny for your time spent in Nightfalls.
So,
huh? Yeah. So
yes.
Grandmaster be back.
I wish that there was something that we could turn our Ascendant Shards into, like some sort of like currency exchange, because kind of at the point to where I have, I don't know, 10 or 12 armor pieces in each slot on my main that are masterworked, and any exotic I have that's worth a crap is masterworked, and kind of I don't really care a whole lot about my alts, because the only thing that masterwork gear really matters for is like a day 1 raid race, which I'm not going to be using an alt for that. But for the most part, I mean, as long as you have like decent gear on there already. So, you know, I'm sitting on like 40 right now, and we're going to have that double drop week. So I'm going to just be throwing them into just crappy exotics, I guess, to get rid of them.
Yeah, so if I have a hanging out exotic, just level that up, or if I like stash a couple pieces of artifice armor, I go ahead and masterwork those. Um, Now for new players, there's like a lot of stuff to go by inside the exotic kiosk with ascendant shards. So there's a lot of exotics that like if you don't have, you can go back in and you have to use the exotic shard to get them. So somebody just come back
I
to the
think you
game or stuff like that.
can also buy the ornaments, like the Vanguard, like for the
Yeah.
seasonal weapons. You can buy those as well.
Yeah. So that might not be a bad way to purchase some of them if you like some of those ornaments. Maybe you're just a Gambit guy. But if you're a Gambit guy, you play a lot of Gambit, so you probably got the skins. But, yeah. All right, Supremacy has entered the chat for the Relentless Rotator. So it's going to be back around next week. So you can go claim those crests on points. And actually, it forces a little bit of movement in PvP. And sometimes the engagement areas is a little bit different than what you get in Control. Because Control is always like the same alleyways that you're always fighting over to try to get map control. So it's usually a good change of pace. But it's probably not going to draw me into that playlist, even though that is, it's one of the better game types.
You say that they're not going to be able to do it
That's true.
this week?
Yeah. Ain't going to be able to. No. Grandmaster's launching too? Yeah. All right. Callie. Man, that first encounter of Last Wish was that like 2 weeks ago. The first week of the season, it was farmable.
Oh.
We spent a lot of time in there, and so did the community. Bungie states here that players spent 2.17 million hours in Last Wish during the first week of Season of the Deep. So that's what happens whenever you refresh the loot pool, and then the same week is also farmable with an encounter that you can get done in about, 45 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say 90 seconds from the time you touch the flag to start the encounter, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then also you could spend your time to get the double loot drop by doing the challenge. Did a little bit of both. I think I got better luck with the double challenge completion. I mean, doing the challenge, getting the double drop. Because there is at least one time I got the double red border drop. So that was a great feeling when that happened. Yep. Basically 2.2 million hours was the most time spent in Last Witch since the launch of it back in 2018. So 5 years it's that long since people have been in there.
Yeesh.
Were you guys do you guys remember when that raid launched? Were you guys watching it on Twitch or anything?
I do remember it, but I don't have real good memories of what I was doing and watching it.
I remember I watched it a little bit, because I was out of town, so I couldn't play it. So I was watching the world's first race, and I did get good laughs out of it. That my family that I was stuck around didn't understand. Because I'd just be sitting there and as I hear Dado get slowly more and more frustrated. And it came in waves, and it was fun. It was just fun to watch. But yeah, no, I missed the end of it because obviously it was 24 hours, and I was like, are they gonna beat this by like that evening? And I'm like, I'm not invested anymore. I got stuff to do. But that's the only reason I remember it is because I watched it because I wasn't in town, and that was it.
I watched it, and everybody was stuck on Vault forever and ever and ever, and the people that beat Vault first were, I think it was Ninja. I want to say was like the stream, like he wasn't like a popular streamer at all, and he went from like 7 streamers to or 7 viewers to thousands of viewers all at once because they were the first ones past it. And then I remember Dado finally beating Volt, and he holds, I'm sure there's a clip of it somewhere, but he holds up his paper and is screaming about data, like take that for data or something. I can't remember exactly what the quote was. He like holds up like his worksheet that he was working on, and that was and then I remember, it was like a 24-hour raid. Obviously, 2 teams beat it in under 24 hours. 1 team beat it in 24 hours and 2 minutes. But I remember going to bed and going to sleep, waking up, and them still being on the same part, and it just then it was a wild day. There'll never be anything like that. Could you imagine if they put a contest mode out that only 2 teams were capable to beat?
No, I think, but one of the things that would make Destiny the game Reddit like blow up the most, I think that's one of them. And then another one is like leaving old gen behind out of nowhere. Just like, hey, no more updates to old gen, just like on a random Tuesday.
Oh, that'd be one of those get your like the popcorn.
Yeah.
Just in there.
Yeah.
That's
all right. Fixes for next week. There's a few things. There's going to be a patch that goes out on Tuesday. So, again, that's going to be at least an hour and a half of downtime, at least. So, be prepared for that. So, that's the last wish whenever you get that quest from Hawthorne. Right now, it rewards 2 red border progression. That's going away on Tuesday. It's only going to reward 1. Some exotics are getting their behavior corrected. Vesper Radius, Capri's Horn. And then certain grenades was able to go through barricades and Water Dawn, and that is also getting corrected. And then the corrective action perk that allows you to 2-tap with the 120 hand cannon. It's getting a 10% buff in PvP instead of the 20 that it gets now. So they're fixing that. All right, that's it for the TWAB. That was it by Bruno. And, he did the last one. He did the last TWAB. Good job, Bruno. Forever submitted in the history books as the last one. Next up's TWIB.
Gonna be a trivia question one day.
Yeah. Oh, this is just a little tidbit. I'm pretty sure we haven't heard from Cosmo in a long time. Because if you look in that Vidoc for Marathon, he was playing it.
I had that thought, and I was like, I wonder if he's just migrating over.
Yeah.
I would like to go back and read his like farewell, or did he say he was moving on to another company or a new opportunity? Like I would be interested to see like Cosmo's like farewell address.
I didn't know he did one of those.
It might have been on Twitter or something. It might not have been on. I thought he wrote something out, or maybe in the TWAB, like the last paragraph of the TWAB or something.
I mean, I know you're not thinking of DMG, are you?
I am thinking of DMG. Yeah, whenever he left and the yeah, you're exactly right. I was thinking of like, because I was wondering if he moved on to like, if they had planned on using like, it was weird that like both of like when Dylan left DMG, like, like if he was kind of going over. That's who I was wondering if he was going over to be the community manager of the Marathon franchise.
Yeah. Okay. No, he left Bungie. DMG left Bungie. So, yeah, if I could bet on DraftKings right now for the next community manager of Marathon, I would put a substantial amount of money that's Cosmo.
Okay. I mean, that would show that they really have just gave up on Destiny. I mean,
yeah. All right. Let's move over to likes and dislikes. We're going to do 3 of them. So I'm going to kick us off with the like this week, and it's going to be Relaxed Destiny. I'm not stressing of trying to get anything in Destiny done right now. I'm casually getting web borders done. If people's on to do a dungeon or people's on to do a raid, that's cool. If not, I'm going to do some bounties. I might do a little bit of seasonal challenges. I'm just going to fish and watch YouTube. So as relaxing as Destiny gets is right now for me.
My like is that GMs are coming soon and that the seasonal patterns are dropping at a good rate, at least for me. Maybe not for Chad. Sorry, Chad. And basically the only thing left for me in this game right now is the pattern grind. So that's kind of the main things. And I think I need 2 more runs of Root of Nightmares to get it done. And then just kind of doing these seasonal patterns, which I have 4 out of the 6 completed. So getting close.
It's always fun to hear Ryan's red border drops. For me, that's gonna be my dislike, I think. But my like for the week, it's definitely a mix of both of these guys' ones. Just how relaxed Destiny is right now. It doesn't feel like a chore, which is nice. So I'm playing it for fun instead of just feeling like I have to play it because I need to get my pinnacles done so I can make sure I get to the right seasonal level so that I'm GM ready. And it's stressful and I don't like it. And it makes me like the game less. So right now I'm like, cool. I'm fine with the game right now. And I don't feel like I need to play it. That's the best part. Yeah, no, I like that GMs are coming back next week, even though it's just one at a time until they release the full GM node for guilding. But I know we'll be in there for at least one run to get that check mark done. Now my dislike is fishing, and it's only because of my luck. Like the red border grind on Last Wish is abysmal for me, for Deepstone for me, for everything for me. I've spent focusing over 100 deep sight or deep weapon engrams for weapons. So two at a time. So 50, at least 50 weapons, and I've gotten 4 red borders out of it. Not completed, to drop.
Well, I think you're not far off from what the actual average is. I think the average is probably a 10% drop rate. You're at 8%. You're not far off there. You're even out whenever you get to 100. You'll be fine.
Yeah, sounds great. But it's. I just have to wait for the last 2 weeks of the actual year where you can just buy all of them, and I'll buy all of them. I'll make sure that I have enough engrams stacked up that I can just ka-ching on them and then call it a day.
Maybe you got
Get your swords done.
What?
3 swords from the Leviathan.
I'm that one almost, because I had so many engrams from that. I've spent well over 200 engrams on that, and I'm Warlock and Titan are done, and I have 2 of the hunters so far, so I only need 3 more. So 75 engrams, and I'll be done. 76.
My dislike is these match-made deep dives were fine early in the season, but trying to do these things on like Tuesday or Wednesday, you would think that the people that are playing at Reset are the people that kind of know what's going on and are jonesing to get in there. Nope, it's not those people at all. Get in there, people wouldn't touch Toland. I'd be just screaming in the local chat, hey, Toland's over here. Hey, come activate this. Hey, and then I'd see him just like do a little spin move and like dive away, and he's gone. Then I would get in and people would do it, but then they're running a sidearm, a bow, and a machine gun, trying to do these. And so I still haven't got like the tier 7 chest. I made it to tier 5. That's the most that I've got. Just it hasn't worked out for me, so that's something I'm gonna make you guys do at some point this weekend.
All right, that sounds good. All right, my dislike. This is going to be the dog days of Destiny coming up here. We know what we're looking towards in final shape. We know that Cade's coming back, and what it leads to there. And I feel like it's going to take a very long time to get there. And these are like the 2-a-days, back in high school, and it's on summer vacation. You're supposed to be on summer vacation, but like you're doing lifting in the mornings and then you're doing practice in the afternoon. And it's just like, man, are we ever going to get back to the regular season and start playing again? So these are going to be the dog days of destiny. It's just going to be like, all right, what are we doing? We're going to do this GM again for the eighth rotation. We're gonna go get into this dungeon again, trying to get a weapon that we'll never get because the RNG is so bad. It's going to be looking grim of like what to do now to get you to the finish line. And then we can sing the dog days are over once final shape finally hits, and then sailing into the sunset. So, all right, that's likes and dislikes for the week. We all gave one of each, so we can even it out and be neutral because we're a non-biased podcast here. Just give you how it is.
Super biased.
All right. Next up here is weapons breakdown, and this week, given Last Wish being in the TWAB, and probably the main focus for majority of people's grind this season, let's go talking about some of those weapons, and we're going to talk about 4 of the 8. So I mean that's 8 weapons in an array. That's a lot. So the first thing here we're going to talk about is Shattering Bone, and all these are going to have this origin trait called Explosive Pact, where you get a bonus to reload speed and stability when you throw a grenade, and then you get additional stacks if you use a healing grenade or your grenade generates final blows. So Shattering Bone, to me it's pretty simple. I'm going for one roll and one roll only, and that's Arrowhead Break, Flared Magwell, Kill Clip with Kinetic Trimmers, and it's just going to be a straight PvE roll. If you want to go PvP, there's probably something in here for you with Keep Away in column 3, Rangefinder in column 3, and then in the last column having a Head Seeker is probably the play there, or Elemental Capacitor if you're wanting a weapon to feel super smooth. All right. Next up, Transfiguration, 150 RPM Scout Rifle. This thing used to get that really nice Rampage kill clip, and it's still available this time, right? Yeah. Rampage in column 3 and kill clip in column 4, so that's there for you. Me personally, of course, I'm getting a PvE roll for this, so I'm not using the Scout Rifle in PvP. I'm going Fluted, Flared with Demolitionist and Explosive Payload. I really like Demo when it's in column 3, and then you pair it with Explosive Payload. I am a fan. In that last column, column 4, you can also get Kinetic Tremors, which is also very good in PvE, and especially in-game PvE, because how many shots it takes to actually take something down.
Like 17 or 18. Sometimes you're just sitting there just clicking on their head over and over and over. Next, we had the Age-Old Bond Auto Rifle. This is the one I have 0 out of 5 patterns of, so I'm sure it will be the last one that I get crafted. We got Arrowhead, Flared, Repulsor Brace, and Destabilizing Rounds. Interesting combination here. And it's one a lot of people were kind of pointing out is a little bit unique. I think it might have been, I don't know if it was the pre-show we were talking or before the pre-show. Jared, did you say it's the only like kinetic slot that can, or this
it's
one
only
or two that can get the...
Yeah, it's the only primary weapon that can do it.
That's what it was. Yeah. So yeah, something to look for there. And then Tyranny of Heaven, which is the bow, elastic string, compact arrow shaft, archer's tempo, and incandescent. Bow's a bow to me, really. Not crazy about them.
All right, that's the 4 weapons we're covering this week. So next week, we probably have the 4, probably potentially top 4, top 5 of the weapons coming next week with the rocket, fusion, hand cannon, and Sniper. Yeah, that's definitely the top 4.
Yeah, we gave you the crap this week.
They're not crappy weapons. They're just not as great as the others. So cover those next week.
Chad, which one were you hoping? Which one were you looking forward most to craft out of these 8 Last Wish weapons?
Any of them, as long as I can get one. Any of them. Give me one, man.
Oh my gosh. I got 2. I have Nations of Beasts and Apex Predator.
I have a couple. I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Gambling Quarter, what's going on, Fox?
All right. So, Gambling Corner, if you're new to the show, at the start of each season, we all start with 10,000 Glimmer. We have little bets that we do each week that are Destiny related. And the person at the end wins all the respect of the listeners and the 2 other co-hosts. If somebody goes bankrupt at that point, at any point during the season, they are forced to buy back in. And in order to buy back in, you have to sacrifice a weapon out of your vault. The value of those weapons are determined by the other 2 co-hosts. A weapon that is no longer able to be acquired or is a god roll, like let's say an adept version of one of the raid weapons from Vow of the Disciple that has a bunch of kills on it, something like that, that's harder to reacquire. Those are going to be worth more than, say, just a weapon that is like a Typhon GL5 or whatever that grenade launcher is. That's a world drop that you get 70 times every time you log in. So last week, Jared was in the lead at 14,000 Glimmer. Chad and I were tied at 8,000 Glimmer. So we had 2 bets running. The bet that had been running the whole season was a 1,000 ante. Everybody anteed in 1,000 Glimmer, and the first to get the dungeon exotic gets that. So, spoiler, I got the dungeon exotic to drop last week. Everybody clapped and said congratulations, and they were all very happy for me whenever it dropped. So that put me up to 10, Jared at 13, and Chad at 7. And then we had another bet that was plus 200 to yes and minus 100 to no. Was will anybody get the exotic to drop before the next reset? So at that point, I said yes, and I bet 2,000, which essentially doubled. So that gave me 4,000. Jared said yes and bet 3,000, which essentially upped him at 6,000 there. Chad said no, and he only bet 1,000, so that's all that he lost. So our current standings at this point, this is absolute. Jared is at 19,000 Glimmer. I am at 14,000 Glimmer. Chad is at 6,000 Glimmer. So we were talking, and before the show, kind of getting an idea of what we wanted to do. We have some pretty good ones baked into GMs and when that stuff kind of starts to do. And I was kind of throwing around the idea of, should we do who catches the biggest fish before the next episode starts airing or something like that. And I think what we landed on was, will anybody get the exotic to drop from the dungeon before the next show, the next episode of the show? And we had to bet, we had to bet who would get it next. Is that how we did it? Is that what we decided?
Yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't before the next reset. It was just who was going to get it next. Jared, Chad, or myself. And I say we just make this a double up. If you get it, you double your Glimmer bet. So if I bet 3,000 on Jared and Jared gets it next, then I'm betting 3, getting 6. So
Okay.
you guys cool with that?
Yep.
Odds wise?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Jared, since you're in the lead, you can decide if you want to go first or last.
All right. I'm going ahead and go. And I'm going to bet 2K on Chad getting it. He's going to get it next.
Is it me? Is it
Hey.
me now?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna put 1K on Jared getting it.
So what Jared did there, for those of you that are uninitiated, is he kind of put the reverse jinx on Chad. So if Chad wins, he can be happy because he won the game. If Chad loses, he didn't bet enough to hurt him, but he's going to win. So so I'll be streaming. I'll stream any dungeon run that we do. That way, in case I get it next, it'll pop up on that we have video proof. I can't just say that I got it again, which I would do just to aggravate you guys. I'm gonna say, let's do 4,000 on Jared. Now, are we having a gentleman's agreement that there has to be, like, we try to do these together, even if they're just boss checkpoints?
Well, even if that's not the case, we can still share our screen and show in collections that we got it.
I guess my thing is, if Jared does it 6 times before reset and Chad does it once before, you know what I mean?
Show, he means.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on Chad.
Okay.
I mean,
I
I might,
this week.
yeah,
next
I
week.
might not even do a boss clear for 2 weeks. You know, I don't know.
It happens. Yeah.
Good. Okay. No gentleman's agreement then. Okay.
Like, well, I'm gonna make it to where,
We're
like,
not gentlemen here.
like, oh, I did it twice now, and Chad hasn't did it once. I better just hold off and wait for Chad to do 2 boss clears that he probably wait around and only clear the boss with me anyways, because that's how he is. He doesn't LFG.
How he is. Okay.
True.
I don't think that's how you are, Chad.
Why? That's true.
Because I think you'll just do it solo out of spite.
All right, so
Listen, I've been working on a half baked take, but I'm not quite. I'm at like a quarter baked take at the moment, so I need a little bit more. But it's
in marinating stage, right?
Yeah, marinating. Yeah, marinating. We're getting there.
All right, takes it to the lore. What's going on this week, Chad?
All right. Like I said, we're going into the armor from the dungeon is the armor of the Taken King. Like previous stuff, all the armor sets have the same exact lore. So we're going to start off on the head, work our way down. And it is a story from the hidden that follow us in. So after we clear it, the hidden come in to do stuff.
Freaking buzzards.
Yeah, they do. Keep this talisman on you at all times. Black, glossy, and in the right light, the talisman has a rainbow iridescence. It reminds Fenchurch of hematite pearls from the Bay of Drowned Wishes. He rolls it in his hand, looking up to Chalco to see the creases of worry in her brow. Fenchurch clips the talisman to his jacket and the rest of his fire team has. What's it do? If it glows white, stay where you are and call out, Chalco explains, choosing her words carefully, all while avoiding Fenchurch's gaze. If you experience any memory loss or sense of deja vu, call out. A silence falls over her fire team. Palpable tension fills the cabin as they feel the craft begin to descend. If you see anyone at the operation site that you do not recognize, call out. Chalco continues, occasionally steadying herself with a hand on the cabin ceiling as the submersible pitches and yaws in the disruptive currents. If you experience any out of body sensations or missing time, call out. Ma'am? Lisbon 3 is not afraid to interrupt Chalco. His eyes glow bright from the back of the submersible. Where are we going? Chalco stares for a moment, squares her shoulders, and continues. If you hear a voice that you think is your own, a compact submersible of Elixni design finishes its descent through the hazy depths of Titan's methane ocean. The craft's seafloor landing kicks up a cloud of dark silt and microbial life, shimmering like stars. The submersible's dorsal airlock cracks open in a rush of bubbles, then slowly folds down into a ramp, allowing a trio of figures armored in deep diving gear to emerge. The submersible's single floodlight sweeps across the ocean floor, revealing the alien landscape of twisting coral. Fenchurch approaches one of the coral growths, running a gloved hand over its surface. These polyps, he mutters. Is this? He stops suddenly at the sound of a mechanical snap and turns to see Chalco and Lisbon 13 plant a large mechanical spire in the ground. Internal lights flicker on as the spire whirs to life, creating a regulated field of water pressure around the submersible. Fenchurch steps away from the coral, rubbing his fingers together. He looks at the spire as its sides open like a flower and release several drones, each outfitted with floodlights. The drones swim out ahead, revealing the disorienting flicker of what looks like the water's surface, but at an impossibly vertical angle. This way, Chalco directs as she turns to follow the drones. Fenchurch and Lisbon look at one another, steady themselves, and fall in line behind their fireteam leader. Stop me if you've heard this one before, Fenchurch says, anxiously checking the talisman clipped to his armor. 2 hunters and a warlock walk into the deep. Chalco Yang disappears behind the shimmering curtain of surface tension. Lisbon 13 follows without hesitation, leaving Fenchurch to stare at the vertigo-inducing vertical plane of water. He reaches out, hesitantly touching the surface, only for Lisbon to reach back, grab him by the wrist, and yank him through. Everest, Lisbon mutters once he pulls Fenchurch to the other side. The warlock doesn't even realize he's hyperventilating. Get it together. He gives Fenchurch a warning look, then nods at Chalco walking ahead across the maddeningly dry ground. It takes Fenchurch a moment to realize that he is not underwater anymore. Liquid methane drips off his suit and turns to ice when it hits the compacted silt. The cavernous space is suffocatingly dark, and it will be hours yet before the sun rises on the section of Titan. Yet the lambent shades of starlight twinkling in the void beyond fill Fenchurch with a lurching sense of dread. He wants to ask, where are we? But the words fail to get past his lips. Instead, Fenchurch gathers himself and joins Chalco at her side. Chalco raises her hand. The 3 drones come to heel behind her. We are the only extant team of Hidden to visit this site. She sends the drones up into the air with a wave. What you are about to see is not to be discussed outside of official reports. Fenchurch steps forward, squinting against the dark until the drones sweep the terrain with their floodlights. Then, as the alien landscape comes into sharp focus, one word finally escapes his lips. Oryx. What appeared to be a silhouette of coral growths in the dark is revealed to be a mountainous remains of Oryx, the Taken King. The hive god's immense carcass lays strewn across Titan's seafloor. Both Lisbon 13 and Fenchurch are taken aback by the sight, but Chalco advances toward it. The Lucent Brood performed a ritual here. Chalco motions to the shattered remnants of a hive ghost on the ground. We believe they were trying to forcibly resurrect Oryx by combining heretical hive necromancy with the powers of that ghost. They were disrupted. Lisbon steps forward, unable to look away from Oryx's cadaverous face. Is that possible? Officially? No. Unofficially, Chalco glances at Lisbon. That's what we're here to investigate. The body is still active, with taken energy and darkness. The Guardians who intercepted this ritual reported finding 3 floating fragments of consciousness on the way to this site, memories from the corpse. It's alive, Fenchurch whispers, hesitant to approach Oryx's remains. Chalco shakes her head. That's unclear. We need to bring back samples for further analysis. Ikora wants this entire site quarantined and the body exhumed, pending transport to a secure location for further analysis. Fenchurch checks his talisman, still black. He glances between Chalco and the corpse. Are we the first fire team to come down here? Chalco looks at Fenchurch, then down at the ground. Her gaze lingers for a moment in tense silence. Finally, she fixes her gaze ahead of the corpse. We are the only extant team of Hidden to have visited this site. Access restricted. Decryption key. Representative taken. Agent Fen 92. Analysis notes. Spectrological analysis indicates concentration of taken energy within the cellular structure of subject's remains. Resonance indicative of active darkness presence lacking both direction and willpower. Cellular analysis indicates slow but active mitosis, explaining the exaggerated size of the remains when compared to the subject's last known physical dimensions. The mind is gone, but the body continues to grow. Comparative analysis to samples with remains subject WQS do not match. WQS shows no signs of mitosis, maybe a compounding effect from worm severance and exposure to light. Autopsy revealed no presence of worm carcass within TKO remains. Status unknown. Prolonged exposure to TKO causes vivid audio-visual hallucinations due to combined exposure to taken and darkness energies. ERI notes similarities to object of interest, COS. Cataloged recollection from initial Guardian fire team exposed to site indicate WGX frequently visited the remains to grieve. TKO is capable of absorbing knowledge and events, but incapable of reacting to them. It is my professional recommendation that the remains of TKO should be destroyed. It poses a threat to the safety of humanity far outweighing its any potential knowledge value. Message ends. Access restricted. Representative taken. Agent CHA. Analysis notes. Attached to FEN analysis are quarantine recommendations from ERI and my own analysis of object NEV for comparison to TKO. My recommendation is as follows. Reclassify POIs to segment queries, quarantine remains to offsite location, and limit direct exposure to frames and mechanical intelligence. There is too much of value here to simply throw it away. Message ends. So, Fenchurch thinks that we need to blow it up. And fire team leader Chalco obviously disagrees. But yeah, no, it's definitely cool to see an actual fire team going back to a dungeon. We saw this happen on Spire, where the fire team went back in there to grab some stuff that we left behind, and they went with Anna Bray. So it's cool to see them continue the dungeons being an actual thing in the game that is happening. And here's a fire team of Hidden that is going to do their own analysis and do their whole Hidden thing. Yeah, no, Fenchurch is scared to death of this thing, and he wants it destroyed because it's dangerous. But Chalco's giving me little Osiris vibes, kind of little Osiris vibes. So,
all right, so
we'll see if anything else comes.
If we had to make a decision, are you destroying it or trying to pull out some knowledge?
I mean, the body's still growing, man. The body is alive, whether the mind isn't there or not, and there's no worm. Man, I don't know. Maybe I would have to like actually take a look at it, because when we were there, it didn't seem that scary, man.
Huh?
But
I don't know about that.
A regular canonically, our guardian is a monster, so a regular guardian looking at this thing, probably not. It's not worth it.
Yeah, definitely destroying it.
Yep.
Send it into the sun.
Okay, into the
Set it
sun.
on fire.
All right.
Okay.
The only other
not
thing to
blowing it up
do.
with a weapon. Send it to the sun.
The only other thing to do is just let it res and res Savathun at the same time, just to see what happens. Like, it's the chaos mode. Like, it's like, all right, let's just put the 2 wild cards back on the table.
What if we just we extract you and just put him in the exact same place where we restore the crown of sorrow, and
Yeah.
then we'll just put them side by side, and nothing would ever happen at that point. So, whenever we're about to lose to the witness and all that, what is it? Something about the enemy of an enemy is a friend. Something like that.
Or like this. That's what they did for Thor Ragnarok. How they couldn't beat. Oh my gosh, what was her name? I forgot her name. But Thor's sister was just too powerful, so they just resummoned the
Lady Thor.
No, it's not Lady Thor. Stop it.
They summoned Surtur, I think it was.
Stop it! Don't you dare!
Yeah. So,
because her power was all connected to that realm, so they're like, well, we'll just let it get destroyed then, I guess.
Yeah.
What was her name? Asgardia.
That's the one, yeah. Clearly.
All right, let's get to this mailbag. All right, question one.
Pregnant pause there. Which weapon from any other game or franchise would you like to see introduced into Destiny? So I took this as like kind of what do you think would be fun, not what would be the most viable thing to put into the engine that currently exists. What I thought would be the most interesting would be like the portal, the gun, the portal gun, where you can create portals to come out of and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be crazy fun. That'd be hard to track in some of the movement with PvP right now. Initially, I thought Sojourn's rifle from Overwatch, but I was like, that's literally Vex Mythic class. So I would take Reaper's double shotty, and then it'd be the first gun where you can only fire from the hip. 2 guns, and you can only fire from the hip. Can't ADS.
Kimbo, baby. Okay.
Yep. Die.
Yeah, exactly that. Man, I was looking for a good Ratchet & Clank weapon, but they're so closely related. There's so many guns in the game right now that are like similar, and I'm like, gosh darn it, there isn't a Ratchet & Clank gun that you can make that is wholly unique compared to the guns we already have. So I had to give that up. And I'm thinking about the fuel rod gun from Halo, and I'm like,
ooh,
maybe that could work out. And then my only other one that would be completely different would be the Apothicon gun from Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies in the city area. It was the black hole gun. And it was like a gun that looked like a tentacle monster that shot out black holes that just sucked in PvE enemies for like 10 seconds and then disappeared. I'm like, that'd be neat. It's just something that pulls enemies into it for a little bit of time and then that's it.
Honorable mention, Spartan Laser from Halo.
Yeah,
The what's it called? The drop shot from Gears of War and the Hammer of Dawn from Gears of War were things that I had thought of. Oh, and Mega Man's
Blaster.
gun arm. Yeah.
Okay.
Question 2. Which crossover armor would you spend the most amount of silver on in the Eververse? So I took this to be like, we've had like the Sony crossover, and then we had like the Assassin's Creed crossover. So which other franchise would you be the most likely, or what would you spend the most amount of silver on to acquire?
Mandalorian armor. It's.
Oh, you think they'd get that from Disney?
I mean, Disney all about making money. You just gotta throw the right price at them.
That's true.
Especially with the Star Wars, the way they do Star Wars, they just license it out to everything, like different publishers, they do exclusives with different people.
And they're not trying to like make it canon or anything like that. They're just like, hey, here's a skin. That's it.
Okay.
Right. It's an easy 25, even $30. I'm spending on that.
To dress up like Baby Yoda or whatever.
Mando. Bo-Katan.
Shut up. I don't even just. How many other words can you say that mean absolutely nothing to me? Um, I think that what I would spend the most money on, and I'm a simple man, just let me look like Master Chief. And that's probably going to be Master Chief or what the Sing Healy, the Arbiter. If I could look like a pink lizard dinosaur playing Destiny, like that's probably. And then my Titan's going to be Master Chief. However, I think that the well, Chad, you go ahead because I don't want to step on something
No,
that you
you
won't
go
say.
because I don't. I literally have zero idea at all.
So what I was thinking was, what if they could do like a horror crossover pack where you could get like Freddy, Jason, and like I don't know, name another Michael Myers. Like they could get those three for Halloween, and then new Mortal Kombat's coming out, so they have a Mortal Kombat skin pack. You get Scorpion, Sub Zero, Raiden. Like I don't know, stuff like that could be. I mean, I guess they are kind of Fortniting at that point, but you know, who cares?
That's what sells.
It's just there. It's just a cosmetic. It's a
Yeah.
cosmetic. So, but
Dude,
I would like to have finishers that were fatalities,
you get
like all Mortal
Hans
Kombat.
Hans Blaster as an ornament for like a hand cannon.
Use that.
Oh, don't even. Don't even. Chewbacca's crossbow laser. Oh,
Cool, dude.
And I got nothing. I honestly nothing, because the ideas that I have like Mega Man is while it's cool, it's plain. It's nothing. It's very the armor is very plain. Then like Doom Guy, also again armor, very plain. Master Chief's armor is I would also say is plain, but is so unique to him in a way that you're like, yeah, that's the Chief. But like Doom Guy armor, you're like, you could look at Doom Guy and be like, is this a guy from StarCraft? Is he from Warhammer? Like, if I just saw this character, I'm like, I don't know exactly what he's from.
I'm surprised you
But
didn't say
no,
Metroid.
I'm ruling out Nintendo because that's even in my
And
dreams.
I was
That's not
actually going to
possible.
say, I was going to say, if they did a Nintendo, like they decide they're going to launch the game on the Switch 2, and Nintendo's giving them something, what would the Nintendo pack look like? You would have like a Mario, like a Link, and who would the other, like what other franchise would they use?
They try to work Pokemon in there somehow. Probably like a
It would
ghost.
have to
A
be
ghost
Pokemon.
would be for Pokemon.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, with the
Could
little
you
Pikachu
imagine
ears and tail.
Yeah.
Charizard's ghost? Oh,
Yeah.
that would be sweet. And then like a Microsoft, you would obviously have like Master Chief,
Oh
Dom,
man!
or Marcus Phoenix would be
And then you'd
one.
have your
And then
ghost would be Clippy, the little paperclip from Microsoft Word.
or Microsoft Office or whatever, or Word,
Yeah.
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 He
I'd pay
would
money.
be
I would
who,
pay for that.
he'd be who guided you through the new light quest. That'd be
Guardian,
Grumpy.
I see that you're stuck here. I have a suggestion.
Are you trying to shoot aliens in the face? I have a suggestion for you.
Get good.
I see
All
you're
right,
running out of ammo.
Press R to reload. Question 3. Pour one out for the TWAB. What is your first TWAB that you remember reading? I assume a Bungie weekly update counts the same as as that.
Yeah.
The first
would
one I
assume that
remember
too.
reading, it was in between Halo 2 and Halo 3. And they were talking about water physics and how real the water looked on let's see, what called Blood Gulch on Halo, like the Blood Gulch, the multiple ones of those, they had like a little clip that I remember being like being at high school, being in high school at the computer lab, like going through and like looking at it and thinking about how crazy it looked, that how good the water looked. And they talked like maybe it seemed like it was 500 words about just water in games.
Man, I really didn't get into like the back end of Destiny until like Scourge of the Pastime. So like probably was just like watching Twitch on a Thursday and then he's talking about the TWAB. I'm like, what the fuck's the TWAB? So that's probably what happened.
I mean, I remember. I think during Halo Reach, I remember reading some stuff. But the first Destiny one, I honestly can't remember. I've been a Bungie guy for a while, so I feel like I don't remember any from D1 that particularly stuck out to me. I remember I would read patch notes and stuff a lot, and I'm like, I don't play a high enough level to notice the differences on a lot of these things. And I mean, I was watching Dado videos a lot, so he would talk about the TWAB and he would talk about the changes that are happening, and I would watch a couple of YouTubers to hear it, and then I'd start reading it. But there's not any particular one that feels like a first one for me where I'm like, I remember this clearly. They're all so ingrained into just the Destiny experience for me in particular that it's just kind of a thing. So I can't even remember the first one that we as a group of 3 like talked about. Like we're like, dude, did you read the TWAB? Can you believe that nonsense? Like, nope, I can't even remember that far back, man. Like it's all such experience to me that I just have no clue.
Like it's kind of like at this point, reading the TWAB is as much as logging in to play at reset. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
But every week, I do like the people that you matchmake with, and they act like nobody else on the planet has ever heard of the TWAB, so they want to tell you everything that it says. Whenever you matchmake with people on there, I do thoroughly enjoy that. Question 4: Honor of Spider-Man. If you could have one superpower in real life, what would it be?
Oh man.
I know what 2 of our 3 answers are going to be.
Ooh,
So
you
I'll
do?
go ahead and
Okay.
take one of the 2. Invisibility. Pretty sweet.
Okay.
So that's the one that I would choose.
Oh man, you'd fall all over the place all the time. Not being able to see where your feet are in front of you, you'd catch on ledges. You wouldn't be able to go up or down stairs safely. Like it'd be fun to see. Well, not see, but hear. Just all the falls that would happen because you can't see your own feet and feel see where it's at exactly. It's such a thing that you take for granted. Like you just you know where your foot is, but you can see where it is, so you don't bump into stuff. But being
You look
completely
down when you
invisible,
walk?
no. But I'm just saying, when you're completely invisible, you would look down and be like, "Ah, darn it."
But I think if you're invisible, I don't think you see yourself as invisible.
Yeah, you're invisible.
I
You're
just think
completely
that nobody
invisible.
else can see you.
So illusion. You are invisible to others.
Dude, you have got just
Wow.
real technical on me here for a superpower conversation.
Yep.
Monkey's
But
paw,
yes,
baby.
I suppose that's what it would be. A cloak that I wear to where I am not invisible to myself, but I'm invisible to everybody else and dog and every animal on the planet. So
Perfect. Sounds good.
whatever that would be is what I would be.
Yeah. Chad, do you know what you want?
Omnilingual,
You
meaning could speak any and all languages.
A superpower, that's just being smart.
That's not being. That's knowing every single language that exists.
Yeah, what? You smash your finger in a library book or something, and all of a sudden you learn all the languages. Like, how does that? How do you even
No,
acquire
you
that?
go-
superpower?
You didn't say mutants. You didn't say
You-
mutations. That's a mutation of
You
kinds.
go to the Rosetta Stone and you just like you kneel before it.
Plus,
and
by
just
the way,
absorb
Yeah.
it.
There
The Rosetta
There
Stone
is-
touches you, and you
there
wake up.
is an X-Man that has omnilinguality as a power.
You think he spells his name like those Koreans that kick my ass in the Crucible?
Probably.
I'm gonna have to go with foresight to know what's happening in the future.
Now, how far can you look?
That I can look as far as I want.
You just pick a
Okay,
time
so
travel.
Yeah.
but you can't see the path it takes to get to that particular outcome, right?
Or the past. He can't see the past with his superpower either.
Well, like so,
Yeah,
if right now I took a peek months into the future, stuff happens in the present, the current present, that will alter that future in a way that
We're on,
it's no longer
we're
what's
on a
happening.
single timeline here. We're not. Your decisions don't matter. The outcome's going to be the outcome.
When you see a future, it changes the outcome.
Not all the time. Sometimes the future's going to happen no matter what.
That is true. Yeah, sometimes it's a fixed point.
So, but I'm going to get those lotto numbers and I'm just going to live on the beach.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work.
So
Just
nobody
give me
chose
enough money to
flying.
build a computer.
Nobody chose flying.
I can
Nobody
fly.
chose X-ray.
I can fly if
Flying?
I can
Flying's
fly.
horrible.
I can fly
Wow,
with
that'd
all the
be
money in the world
sweet,
I want.
dude.
No, it'd be horrible. So, are you also invincible
teleportation.
and you can breathe without having to have oxygen?
All I know is that when you fly, you don't die. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I just know that it works. I can fly to, like Superman. I can just fly over, and maybe I have some sort
But that's a
of
bunch of powers at
repellent
once, though.
to where maybe I wear bright colors so birds don't fly into me or something. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I just know that I'm safe while I'm performing my superpower. Whether that be from stubbing my toe, from not being able to see my feet when I walk, or flying, or I don't get radiation when I'm using my X-ray vision. I don't have to wear a lead vest the whole time. Like whatever stipulation.
Your
you
eyes
need
just
for it to
melt from
work.
the gamma rays.
You have X-ray vision, but you get thyroid cancer by the age of 12.
Or you give it to the person you're looking at.
Oh gosh.
Nobody's ever going to hear that, but that was pretty funny. Question 5. What are your hopes for the Destiny franchise over the next 5 to 7 years?
Wow. That's a long time.
Destiny is dead by the end of 2025. For no more content being made, and then so 2030. So 5 years, Destiny's in the dark, and then we get a new Destiny series in 2030.
Exactly what I was. Give us like 18 months after the final expansion. Give us like 4 to 6 seasons, and then slowly everybody quits because they've done everything. There's nothing like, what are you acquiring guns for at that point, right? Oh, I need the god roll for this, and then they take 5 years to make the next one and get all the content that they need to launch a game proper, and not like try to do the Destiny 2 thing over.
What Jared said
Hi.
for my hopes and dreams for the Destiny franchise. I'm just gonna agree with Jared. I don't have any idea. I'm just here to play a game and read the TWID every week. That's what I'm here for.
I don't know. You do keep us up to date. I would have never known about Fenchurch. And was it Chaka? What was that?
Chalco.
Was
Chala.
halfway there.
Yeah, you were right there.
Right. So this is the end of the episode. Destiny Bad Boy. Follow us on Twitter at Destiny CC Pod. I'll let these other two guys sign off.
All right. We're all getting really close to getting the emblem for the Sherpas in Root of Nightmares. So if you haven't run Root of Nightmares, let us know. We're going to take you through Sherpa. It's like probably take us like what, an hour 20, maybe an hour 30 that show you what's going on and tell you like a quick rundown of the encounter, and just going to help us out getting that Sherpa emblem that I think that's what I really want right now in this game. That's like probably the only cosmetic as of right now I'm thinking about that I was like, hey, I really want that. So I've always missed out on the other ones. They always took them away before I got my Sherpas up. So
Definitely hit us up for raids for sure. We've been obviously doing a weekly last wish for this season because of the you get the red border for beating it, and then you get the red border at Hawthorne as well. So you just get yourself just 2 steps closer to getting all 8 of those weapons done every week, and it's a fun raid. It's a good time, and it's definitely encounter heavy. So if you haven't ever played a raid, it's a good one to start to feel how the encounters and raid flow is. Obviously, Rude Nightmares we want to get done too, and that's the newest one. So hit us up for that. The dungeon maybe not right now because it's still hard. So, but the raids, yeah, for sure. Definitely join up and let us know what raids you guys want to do.
As always, go Cats. Love you guys.